Well, keeping our focus on the ongoing IAAF Athletics World Championship in London and Nigeria's performance in general. And I'm being joined here by a sports analyst, Kayode Tijani. I want to thank you so much indeed for coming on Sunrise Daily. You see this performance of the Nigerian team in London. How would you rate our performance?
Well, you mean our non-performance?
Well, you could call it non-performance, but Nigerians are there and they are giving out their best.
Well, their best is not good enough, not because they don't want to try more than they have, but you can't give what you do not have. The World Athletics Championship, the Olympic Games, Commonwealth Games, Golden League, all these, we all know exactly what year they're going to happen, the time. You prepare towards them. The next Olympic Games, trust me, the major countries are already preparing now.
That's in 2 years.
Exactly. But 2 years to them, they started 4 years ago. Immediately after the last one ends, they start. Some even start earlier. It doesn't work the way we do. In Nigeria, there's no sports policy. The documents we have of sports policies decades ago. There's no sports policy. Nobody cares about anything. The last Olympics was the worst because when there was a budget for 1.6 billion, I think, for the All Africa Games then, that same year, and the Olympic Games. Then after the All Africa Games, we learned that there was 600 million left. Nobody could see the money. And, 2-3 weeks before the Olympic Games, you had our elite athletes, the biggest ones we relied on, coming on Twitter and Facebook and begging for money. It tells you how deep the problem is, because it doesn't happen in most places.
So this is a problem of motivation. Are you saying that our athletes are not motivated enough money-wise to be able to go out to international engagements like the IAAF happening in London now to execute and perform as good as we used to?
Well, yeah, exactly. You got it completely right. Because what happened is not even that last 3, 4, 5, 6 months that you are thinking about where they are struggling for money is worse for them. Because it's supposed to be an elite, sports. In England, they have a Team England. It's with the government. The government is there, but the government is not putting it in its hands. They have a board completely independent of what the government does. But the government, leaves money. The money they leave, it's there. Everybody knows about it. It's a lottery money. That is what they use. And it's a 4-year period. The people running it have nothing to do with the government. All they do is meet with the government. They know the kind of money. And guess what? The challenge for Nigeria has nothing to do with just the elite alone. Time was when there was inter-house sports. And inter-house sports then was like a final of the Olympic Games, where you discover people. After that, the National Sports Festival, which is moribund now. After that, what happens is the Marion Yalis, Falila Tonkoya, Yusuf Ali, Egbunike, we can keep counting all these people. Because of how good they were at the National Sports Festival, they got admission to the colleges in the US. They got better and all. The result was what you had then. I don't know how long. It's going to take decades, really, for us to do what we did at Atlanta 96.
But one would think that just before we went for the IAAF World Championship, we did have a federation's election. And one of the very thorny areas was to do with the election into the Athletics Federation of Nigeria. Do you think that perhaps that has in any way affected the performance of Team Nigeria to London?
Yes and no, because even without that election, they will still not have done any. It has nothing to do the athletes' preparation or non-preparation, like I said, because they don't have the wherewithal. They were not given the wherewithal. There was no planning of at least 9 months was not there. The election just adds to the challenge that it's about the politics. It's about the positions for sports administrations. So it doesn't make any sense. We are going to continue to talk about this until, Atlanta 96 was our best ever performance ever when it comes to the Olympic Games. At that Olympic Games, Great Britain won nothing. And they sat down and decided to, do things differently. The result is what you are looking at now. Look at the Olympic Games, the last one. Forget about whether Russia came or not. They were second to the US. That was 20 years ago. Nigeria is gone back 20 years back, while England has moved 20 years forward because they are so organized, absolutely organized. You need to see the facilities. We don't have them. You need to see for the Kenyans what they do. They are masters when it comes to long distance. They are going to keep winning almost for the rest of our lives. Nigeria does not. We are not experts in anything apart from lack of preparation.
I thought we had the facilities because we've got the Abuja Stadium. It has got a tartan track.
Oh, the Abuja Stadium.
It has a tartan track that is adjudged the fastest in the country now, before taking over from the Teslin Balogun tracks that we have there. So we do have the facilities. We've got the kinds of hurdles for training facilities. We've got the kind of gymnasium.
You really need to go to the Abuja Stadium.
So why is it? Why do they complain saying that we don't have the facilities for our athletes to excel?
But because we don't have the facilities. The National Stadium in Lagos was one of the best at the time. They left it moribund. It's just gone. The Abuja Stadium, you see animals eating the grasses outside. It's terrible. I mean, just ask people about the state of the Abuja Stadium, which was built for about over 30 billion naira. It tells you that we have no maintenance culture. We've never had it when it comes to sports, especially. So because you can't talk about Abuja Stadium and all the stadium where they're going to train. Where the Kenyans trained is different. High altitude, they have their bases. They've opened about 2 or 3 of it in Nigeria, and everything. At the end of the day, they can't be used now because nobody's maintaining them. So we don't know how to maintain facilities.
I'm just looking at that. That's a moment of glory for the American athlete, and also Leto Cabaret, who did not make it to the finals of the 100 meters. But we understand that she's in the finals for the long jump event. When you look at the roll call of the finalists in the past, you used to have the Olakpade Adenikens that are there, the
Ezinwa brothers,
the Tonio Gretas,
too many names.
In fact, in the 400 meters, we even used to have the Ndika Wazie who won the World Juniors in France, 98. But now looking at the kind of qualification time that has been set, just over 45 seconds. But a Nigerian 400 meters flat male athlete was unable to run under 47. He just ran, he ran just under 47 and did not make that cut. You would think that we had 4 athletes in the past who are running the 400 meters flat who easily made it to the finals. Is this the same problem that we're facing to this time?
The athletes are not empowered. You don't have the money to train, to eat the normal foods you should eat. I mean, to watch it that you don't eat a food or drink something that will bring a drug problem. Everything about their preparation is non-existent. They are suffering. It's not a secret. We've said this over and over again. If you play what we are saying back today, I hope in 2 years it's the same. It's worse, actually. So then it was different. These athletes were in US, most of them. The beauty then was nothing is happening when it comes to for instance, let's use athletics for instance. The stadium used to be jam-packed because the foreign-based athletes are coming. The local ones said they are there. Ready, it was so tough. The NFIOC, who thought he was going to do what he did then. But then and now, like I told you, it's different. It's getting worse.
Okay,
and nobody is really caring about it.
Maukwe has got some questions for you from Abuja. Maukwe.
Well, some people will say that perhaps you have to go really down for you to go back up. From your narrative now, would you say that you've lost hope entirely in terms of our participation in athletics or even any sports at all?
No, there's no way we're going to lose hope. The only reason why I'm here is because we've not lost hope. We have to look at the brighter side of it and say, what do we do? What do we have to do? First and foremost, there's the lottery money. I mean, we've been informed that about 13 billion is waiting somewhere in a bank account, which we don't know. I mean, we made some research and we were told that from President Obasanjo's era, when he was president, that the president of Nigeria is the only one who can sign the lottery fund, which I told you that is what is being used by most of these countries. I mean, to do all the participations, to train them, to put them in a place in which they can even continue. We were in Australia for the Olympic Games in 2000. I mean, you need to go to the Australian Institute of Sports. It's amazing.